and the only thing that we didn't do was score goals. And then, but the second half, it was like a game of two halves, and that's why you're, jumping around talking about we were lucky. We weren't lucky. A draw was a fair result today, because we bossed it in the first half. They more or less bossed it in the second half.
It wasn't a fair result. I'm saying you're lucky you didn't lose. If it wasn't for VAR, you would have lost.
Well, if it weren't for their keeper, then they would have lost because he made saves as well. So there's no point saying if it wasn't for VAR.
No, but it's not about them making saves. The fact that the goal went in. The ball went in the back of the net.
Yeah, wrongly so. Do you think that should have been...
And if it wasn't for VAR...
What do you think, people? Do you think that goal should have stood? I think it was the correct decision. Nathan? What's happening, people? And welcome to another episode of Everyone's a Pundit. And this is episode 30. I want to thank everybody, man, that has watched all the way through. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't ever miss one of our videos. Also, hit that like button, please, people. Hit the like button. If you enjoy, of course, hit the like button. Of course, you know what I mean? If you're following us on the socials, thank you. If not, our social media is @ViewsTV Official, and that is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or you can catch us on Spotify and SoundCloud for all of the audio listeners. Views Football Podcast. All right. But yeah, man, let's get into today's show. And I'm joined with... Oh, he's back. Let me introduce him to my right, people.
Yeah, it's me. It's Nathan. Big Spurs fan, back again.
Back again. As certain Arsenal man would say. But to my left, we have...
Mr. Boom Bam Bing, Mr. Invincible, Mr. Jason Alex. Come on, my G.
Jesus. Man said Mr. Invincible, you know. Oh my, you can... People, let me just move my mic over here. You can see what type of show this is. You see it there, Nathan?
I see it.
Man's probably... And you see last week he didn't wear the shirt because he was... And then now this week, man's got the shirt on and everything. Like, he's proper.
Do I not wear the shirt certain times though?
Certain times you wear the shirt. You don't wear the shirt all the time,
exactly,
though. So now because you lot are holding on to this invincible thing, you want to wear the shirt.
Something, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that, Jason. We're gonna get into that. So the order of the show today, people. Let me just run through the order of the show. So Spurs lose their second game on the bounce. We're going to discuss that. We're also going to discuss Arsenal crashing out of the Europa League. Hall of Fame, Premier League Hall of Fame, man. Let's discuss that as well. And you know what? I thought I'll throw in John Stones and what's happened to his career at City. We'll discuss. United failed to close the gap on Chelsea again. Again. Liverpool run comes to an end. We're going to have fun with that one. And question time. A few of our followers on the IG, Instagram have given us some questions. So we're going to try and answer as many as possible today. So yeah, man, we'll start with Spurs. Seeing as we got Nathan back on the show. Woo! So Nathan, the first question I wanted to fire at you really was, should Jose take any of the blame for Spurs' second loss on the bounce and losing at home to Wolves today? Is it a thing of your injuries, or is it a bit of Jose Mourinho?
Honestly, today I don't blame him, because Wolves are a very good team. Two evenly matched teams without our best players. So today on paper, both teams evenly matched teams.
So when you say missing your best, who is it that you're missing?
Kane, Son.
Son.
Our attacking threat.
Okay.
If we had them today, different game, like, because Ali missed a couple chances, and you're thinking if they fell to Kane, different game.
So I've been kind of shot down because I've kind of been a bit critical of Dele Alli recently. A lot of Spurs fans tried to shoot me down. Mm-hmm. it's time for him to step up if he's the real deal, though, isn't it?
For sure. And that's what I was looking for him today. Like, it's our only hope, to be honest with you, because he is the guy who scores the goals.
Yeah.
With Kane and Son missing, that's like 60-70% of our goals in our team.
Okay.
The midfielders we've got, they're all neat, tidy footballers, but none of them are really goal-scoring midfielders.
No? What about Lo Celso?
Lo Celso.
Lo Celso.
I knew you would come to this topic. Last time I was on the show, I built him up like he's this special talent.
Lucas gets in a few goals, doesn't he?
Yeah, but then you look at the stats, and someone hit me with the stats the other week, and I was like, whoa, Lucas has scored 4 goals. The man's played 90 minutes nearly every game this season.
How many goals he got?
I think it's 4.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
Bruno Fernandes has got 3.
I always thought, well, hold on, Lucas is a guy, if you give him a chance, he's a man who's going to score you 15 goals a season. And then I'm looking at it this year, you've got your chance.
Yeah,
and you've scored 4. Like, you might say he's played up front, it's not his position, but you're still on the pitch.
What position is he? Is he like a
to me, he's a right wing forward.
Right forward.
I wouldn't say he's a winger, but he's
right forward. Yeah. I agree.
Now, from that position, that's the same as a Salah and Mane. Them man are scoring 20 goals a season. So for us to have competing with them and you're getting 4, that's not good enough. But I'm critical of Pepe, for example, but I think even he scored more than him. To me, it's not good enough. Like, because I can't rip Pepe one week and then have Moura playing regularly and he ain't scoring as many. It's not good enough.
But Nath, is Moura getting chances that he's missing though? Because I think that's very important when we talk about people scoring goals. Is we have to think about, are these players getting chances to score?
I don't think he gets into the position he needs to be in. Like, he's not like where Sterling's learned how to be at the right place at the right time, and he gets a lot of tap-ins.
Yeah, but that's the system and their coaching, though, Nath.
Stop trying to go on the Mourinho.
No, I'm not going on the Mourinho.
But I'm saying Lucas likes to drop deep, run past 3 players, but you're not getting the end product out of him. That's 4 goals a season stuff.
Yeah.
But he needs to get the ugly goals. He needs to just get those 10 tap-ins a season that Sterling gets.
Yeah.
And that just tops up your numbers, that builds up your confidence. So it's the same like Pepe, for example. To me, he's the same thing. He wants to jink past people and stuff like that, but just get your bread and butter. Like, man's on the other wing, you cross it across, you need to be there for the tap-in on the other side. But they're not there. They're not in the important positions. And that's where Sterling's improved his game. That's where the Manes and the Salahs, they get tap-ins. It's not always a screamer.
Yeah. I agree. I just think that a lot of that is down to the system and the coaching, because when you see City play, when De Bruyne gets the ball on that right-hand side, you know what he's going to do. Hard and low, across the face of the goal to the back post.
Yes.
Across the face. And that's why because they work on that in training. I think when I've watched Spurs play, and I didn't see your game today, so you would be able to educate me on how you lot have actually played today. But when I've seen you lot play today, there doesn't seem to be that passage of play in the attacking third. Because you lot, like, Moura's been playing, Luke has been, getting his name wrong, but Lucas has been playing up front, yeah? And then you lot are like, long ball from Toby Alderweireld up front. Do you know what I'm saying? I've been seeing that a lot since Jose's come.
It changed today. We played Ali through the middle.
Okay.
Lucas was more to the right where he should have been. We looked at Bergwijn.
Oh yeah, of course, Bergwijn.
He scored a goal today. He looks a decent player.
Yeah, he's got 2 now, isn't it?
Let's wait to see, like, sort of thing, how good he'll be. But he looks okay. Lucas, I just think that he's had enough. He's had this whole season, and
So, people, the beginning of the season, I have to call him out now. Beginning of the season, Nathan said that Spurs have the second best squad in the league.
He did. I remember that.
Did he say that, Jason?
He did.
He said it, didn't he?
I remember him saying
I mean, I'm not talking rubbish.
He did.
But when you look at it and you take away Hugo Lloris, your goalkeeper, for a large chunk of the season.
How much is a large chunk of the season?
He got injured like at a key time, like when Mourinho just took over.
Yeah, so that was what, November, December. He's out for 2 months.
Yeah, but January month is.
Yeah, December.
December month is a lot of games of football, and that's your key goalkeeper. You take Alisson out of Liverpool. You take De Gea out of Man United. Oh, let's not talk
We probably want to take him out.
But you take your main keeper out. Sissoko was our best midfielder, for example, last season. So that's the goalkeeper, best midfielder. Your striker, Kane, gone. Son is your flair player. That's 4 key players gone out of Spurs. So I think it's harsh to judge Jose and say he's doing a bad job. I think he's doing a job
But up until last few weeks, it was only Kane that was out and Hugo Lloris. So Hugo Lloris is a keeper. Like there are teams doing bits out there with dead keepers. Do you know what I mean? You can still get by with a dead keeper. And so really it was only Kane that was missing, because when you look at Jose's record, what was I seeing? Yeah, Jose's record, since he's taken over, he's won 8, drawn 2 and lost 6. So he's basically lost and drawn as many games as he's won. For me, we can all make excuses, but no one is letting Ollie have excuses when he's been missing his key players throughout different parts of the season. No one ain't listening to them excuses. But because it's Jose now, and you lot are so
where I would step in here.
Go on, step in, Nate.
Jose has earned the time to get a bit more time.
He's earned it
of his track record.
Okay.
Solskjaer has no ratings, so he don't get time. The same with Arteta, you don't get time. Jose gets time. So this is why you'll hear a lot of Spurs fans saying, you know what, we're not going to judge him on this season, we're going to judge him on next season, because we need to turn the Pochettino team into a Jose team.
Okay.
So it's not a case of and it's not a quick fix. Even Pochettino said it wasn't a quick fix. So will Jose win a trophy this year? Hopefully, the FA Cup. Hopefully, it's the only one I can see we got a chance in. So Champions League's a wrap. Yeah. But you think you got a chance in that one? Yeah, why not? He knows how to win games. By the look of your record, it doesn't look like it to me. Yeah, but he's learning from every game, and this is. But you're still gonna have the same players missing, isn't it? It's not. Yeah, but what I'm saying is to you is I was disappointed with the last about 3 or 4 games under Jose. I was like, well, if that's the way you want to play, when you lose, people are going to criticize you. Because if you play in a negative way and you lose, people will always criticize you. But if you play positive football, then they can say, well, we were unlucky, we played in a certain way, fans might back you. But Jose is the man, he knows his way he wants to play. But when you lose, you're going to get criticized because we're not adventurous enough. But today I can't fault him today, because he matched them system for system, 5-2-3 type formation. Yeah, but does that mean that that's right? Because you're just matching. Because we had to do what we had to do. Wolves are a good team, and they're drilled in what they do. And today he played 3 of the quicker defenders, which this is why I like Mourinho, because he's got no loyalty to no one. He's like, I knew for today that Toby and Jan were going to get dropped. I was saying in my Spurs group
what's happened to them guys? Because
they're in decline. They're too slow.
You guys fought to get them to sign, well, especially
Toby.
You fought to get him to sign a new contract, which he's done, and all of a sudden he's just gone off the boil. What's going on? I don't get it, man.
But if you look at it, I was shocked to see that he signed, but he signed for peanuts, not peanuts, but he's only on 80 grand a week. Serious? Now, that's what I read in something that I saw on the website. And I was thinking, all this fuss we were making about him signing, and we only signed for 80 grand a week. And then he even came out and said, I could have got more money elsewhere, but my family are happy in London, and I love the club. And I'm thinking, I think your career was in the decline. And you took what you... Well, nobody was coming in for him because he was meant to have left a long time, innit? People were saying, why no one bidding for him? But now I can see why. Because... we're not scouts. We only look at it and we Toby. And look, them two are going to probably star at the Euros this summer for Belgium. They're probably going to centre-half pairing, and everyone's going to be like, well, how's Jose got them on the bench? And they're starring for Belgium. Like, maybe it is a system thing. Like, maybe they're going to have 2 defensive mids sitting in front of them, maybe Witsel and someone else for Belgium, but we ain't got that at the moment. Who are we going to sit in front of them? We got Winks and Lo Celso. They're not defensive mids. Today, when he put Dyer in the team, I thought, okay, he's playing a defensive mid. No, he played a back 3. He dropped him back in. But boy, it's a mad one. Do you think that you can catch them then, Jason? Because I know your chest high again.
Catch Tottenham.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a game in hand. We're 3 points behind. We've got West Ham next week.
Yeah, that's not why I asked you. I said, do you think that you can catch them?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, 3 points behind with a game in hand.
Is it only 3 points?
3 points, bro.
Jeez.
They're on 40, 137.
But your game in hand is against City.
Yeah, but
I love the way people say we've got a game in hand.
That's our next game. And who's Tottenham got next week?
I don't care.
Anyway, but yeah,
Season's done, bro.
our game in hand is City.
Oh gosh, don't kill me out here,
Until that happens, what we can do is just get as much points as we can and see what happens from there.
Yeah, that is funny, boy.
Nah.
You know.
And I just want to mention as well, man. Big up, Pat, man. We miss you up here, man. But I see like football's not treating you well at the moment. For everyone who's watching, Pat has given up on Spurs now. He's given up. He was up here just before his operation talking about Spurs getting top 4, and then now today he say he don't care. It's peak, boy. It is peak. That's what
football can do.
I was just about to say, this is what it can do to you people, man. It just sends you crazy.
It was hard to take today because genuinely we played all right, and just Wolves.
You got to think though.
Chances,
you knew for when you lost Kane and Son, you was gonna struggle a lot of the times. Like even I'm not a Spurs man, but your two main front forwards, you're gonna struggle, man. You're gonna struggle to beat certain teams.
But that's why I'm saying it's hard to criticise Jose because
he hasn't got his full strength team up.
That's 60-70% of your goals gone. Like,
yeah,
you got to find goals from other places.
Until
we ain't got those goal scoring midfielders that.
So that's what it is then. Let us know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Is it the injuries or is it Jose? I think Nathan and Jason have both agreed here that it's injuries that are really killing Spurs at the moment. But not being funny, this is what football's about, isn't it? We get injuries and you have to deal with it. As I said, no one wants to give Man United a blight when we're losing all of our best players to injury. So I'm not hearing it, boys. I'm not hearing it. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens on the run-up. Jason thinks that Arsenal are going to catch Spurs as well. I have to say, man, if they finish above Spurs, boy, jeez.
It's a trophy for them, isn't it?
It's not a trophy for us.
Don't bother us.
It's not a trophy. Eh?
It don't bother us.
It won't bother you.
No, at all.
I think it will.
It will bother them. It will bother them.
It will bother you.
It will
We've
bother.
got bigger things to worry about.
Like what?
Well, I'd be
Like what?
more disappointed if we don't make the top 4 because I'm so used to Champions League football.
Yeah, you're
not
gonna.
worrying if Arsenal finish above us. Like that doesn't.
To be fair, you're gonna have to get used to that Thursday night next season, Nate.
Well, you're 7th at the moment.
No, it's not over yet, boys. Like, it's not over.
No, look, you see when we start talking about Europa, he's like, nah.
How fitting would it be if they start playing again on Thursdays?
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh my god.
Bring them back down a peg or two.
Oh mate.
So we'll move on to Arsenal now because you're there chirping. You're there chirping talking about Thursdays, and you man got knocked out, boy.
Hey, well.
Knocked out. Like you win away from home to Olympiacos, and then you lose at home. Like, what is that about, Jason?
No words, but I don't know, man. I put it down to we just can't defend leads, especially important ones. I don't know how we lost that, to be honest with you. I have no words. I thought when the Bremen scored the overhead, that was it. Game done. We just hold out. There's only 2 minutes left to go.
Only 2 minutes left when he scored. Jesus.
2 minutes left, and then that happens.
That's Sunday League, isn't it?
Bro,
That's not football of the highest level.
David Luiz ducked. I don't know why he ducked the cross for.
Because he's a dead defender, that's why.
Leno,
That's why.
I don't know what Leno was doing in the build up to that corner. Just clear your lines, bruv. Just clear it. And we just blew it, man.
I just don't understand why Arsenal fans are so shocked by the mistakes Luiz are making. Like, it's like you bought him; he was a liability. So what made you think at 30, whatever he is now, he's going to turn into a good defender?
We get that he probably makes the odd mistake, but
Not the odd.
It's true.
One in 2 games, he makes a mistake.
And that's basically it.
In a situation like that, you wouldn't expect. You'd expect to at least hold out.
Have we not seen it before?
Yeah, we have.
We've seen-
But in that situation where you've got 2 minutes left to go, you're 2-1 up on aggregate. Yeah, all you need to do is hold out for 2 minutes. You're not really expecting them to go in and score or your defender to duck across or whatever. You expect a team like Arsenal to at least hold that out. You get me?
Maybe you think too much of yourselves.
I think you
because
don't.
you say a team like Arsenal. To be honest, I wasn't shocked to hear that you lot got knocked out and conceding the goal and all of this stuff. So when you say a team like Arsenal does that because that's what you lot do.
Yeah, well, boy.
You ain't addressed your defensive issues. Like you ain't bought a quality centre back. That's as simple as that.
Nope.
Like if I'm talking to you and saying Jan and Toby are not good enough, the levels below that your centre backs are, I'm not surprised you lot concede the amount of goals you lot
And you know what's
concede.
funny is since Mustafi dyed his head, these lot think that he's turned into a world
All of a sudden, he makes a couple launches, tackles.
Mustafi.
He's done well since Arteta's come in. I'm not saying he's the world, but he's done well. You only can go on by how my man's performing, and he's done all right. And he went off injured in I think was it during the second half for the extra time.
Where's your centre back you signed?
Mari, I think he might be starting tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
You think?
That's what I'm reading anyway.
Who are you lot playing tomorrow?
FA Cup Portsmouth.
FA Cup.
Them dead
Yeah.
rubbers. He's good enough.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not.
Because normally when you sign a player,
when you say FA
when
Cup,
you sign a player in January, when you sign
we lose, we're out. It's
when
not
you
dead
sign a
rubber.
player in January, it's normally to improve your team, like to help you out in areas.
like Bruno Fernandes.
Well, Bruno Fernandes has got a couple penalties, yeah.
He's done more than a couple penalties. I can tell you
We're not on
that.
that topic yet.
But anyway, yeah. So I really got no excuse for what happened on Thursday. Arsenal got themselves to blame for that.
So,
Are you disappointed because they have a dead competition?
Because I'm this way. I wanted us to go on and win that, man.
Okay.
but some Arsenal. So this is what I wanted to ask you now, Jason. Do you think that it's a good thing that you lot got knocked out of the Europa League?
No.
No, not
Because
really.
I was speaking to Dash, and Dash was saying, Dash is on this thing that he don't want to be negative towards Arsenal, boy. So he's like, yeah, well, it's a good thing now because you can concentrate, and then there's been teams like Chelsea and Liverpool, back in the day where they've been out of Europe and they can concentrate on the league, and then it can. And don't get me wrong, that could potentially happen. But for me, when you get knocked out of the Europa League in the way that you did, and also, I also want to point out, people, that Jason actually thought that they could win the competition.
Mr. Europa, come on, man.
If you're
I'm expecting us to at least go and win that. You know what I'm saying? We got to the final last season.
Yeah, but you couldn't even beat Olympiacos this year, boy. Jesus.
I think you took them for granted, to be honest with you. But you need to remember they were a Champions League team. They gave us 2 tough games. Like they weren't mugs.
That's probably what it is. They were just a level above Arsenal, innit? That's what it was.
Put it this way. They were unbeaten in 19 games before we played them at their ground.
Yeah,
And
but we beat them.
We ended that.
Yeah.
So obviously
That's good.
they're not a crap team.
That's good, Jason.
Let's see how you'd fare against them. Who you play?
We're still in the competition, boy. We're still in the competition.
My question, please. Who's your next team?
Lask.
Who? Have you heard of them before? Who are they, bro?
I ain't heard of them, boy. I ain't gonna lie. No, but we're still in the competition. How are you gonna run up your gums when you're not in the competition? You're not in the competition, bro. You're not in the competition.
You heard them before, Nate?
You're not in the, no, but you know what? Lask are further than you, though. Lask are further than you.
Oh God.
How are you gonna run up your gums and you're out of the competition?
Have you played any team that's come from the Champions League yet?
Huh?
Have you played anyone that's come from the Champions League?
No, we haven't.
Oh, okay.
We haven't.
Okay.
But that doesn't matter. You still got to beat what's in front of you, innit? And we did a damn good job against Bruges, boy. A damn good job. Maybe if you'd have had half the players that we had, then you might have been able to do something, innit? Maybe we can give you.
Because
we've got Bay that don't even get a game. Where you couldn't walk into the Arsenal team, mate. Go and walk into the Arsenal team. Yeah, man like Pepe gets bought for X amount of money.
Yeah,
and then we get Bruno, and Bruno's changing games, doing things.
did not Pepe deal with your team though?
Oh, here we go. He scored one tapping. He didn't deal with us. He did not deal with us.
You slew him.
He did not deal with us.
He scored your
Well,
team.
because he's the invisible man.
What?
He's the invisible man.
No. He dealt with your team, innit? Yeah? You can't hype on Pepe when he dealt with your team, bro, because your team couldn't handle him.
Is that what we call dealing with a
Your team couldn't handle him.
We call dealing
Your
with a
team
team.
could not handle him, though.
Jason, he scored one tap in.
doesn't matter.
He scored one tap in.
It doesn't matter. Your
It
team
does.
couldn't handle him.
Why do you always go off on chat nonsense?
It's not nonsense, though. If he's that dead, why is it your team couldn't handle him?
Woo, we couldn't handle him.
Luke Shaw that night, bro.
He didn't ruin Luke Shaw. He didn't ruin Luke Shaw.
He ruined Luke Shaw, bro.
See, this is the tie in him, you know, people. This is the tie in him. He just gets a little bit. He gets a little bit overzealous.
I went to the game, people.
Because now he's got the Arsenal badge on. It's like giving him extra powers.
This guy.
Extra powers.
No extra powers there, bro.
Nah, man. Listening. Look, what are you not gonna do now? Because you're out of the Europa League. You already think that you're not gonna catch Spurs.
Yeah.
So what are you saying, that you can get into
Just
the
try and get as high as we can. I don't think we'll make Champions League. I'm hoping we try and make at least Europa. At least Europa places. I think Champions League is points are a bit too far for us to try and get into that.
You reckon, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm expecting at least Europa.
Alright, let us know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, man. Can Arsenal leapfrog Spurs? Can they get into the Europa? He wants to hype up to me, and this is their aspirations, is to get into the Europa League, people.
Finish above Spurs.
And hold on to this invincible trophy. I didn't even get a chance to talk. I didn't even get a chance to talk about that, but we may touch on that in a bit. Yeah, we'll move on now.
Oh my days.
Yeah, let me continue, Jason. You clown. Let's move on to Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. You lot seeing what's going on? So the Premier League are gonna do a Premier League Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame now. I think it comes out on the 19th of March, I believe. And they're gonna put in 2 players. So
free?
Nah, 2.
I thought it was free.
Every year or how?
Nah, so I think initially it's 2, and then I'm guessing every year they're gonna add in an extra one. I believe.
It's a good idea, man.
Yeah, I think so. But who would your first 2 be? Who would your first 2 be, Nathan? If you were to
top goal scorer, Shearer, for me has to be.
Yeah.
Then probably Henry. Even as a Tottenham fan, I have to respect him, man.
Yeah.
Like the stuff he did. Yeah. There's certain Arsenal players that even as a Spurs fan I respect. Ian Wright, Henry, Bergkamp. But yeah, that's as far as I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah, Bergkamp was a G, to be fair.
But Henry and Shearer for me, yeah, they're the 2 best. Well, 2 Hall of Famers, I would say.
So they would be your first 2 in the Hall of Fame. Jason?
Yeah, I agree with Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry and Shearer.
I thought you would.
Why do you think that?
Because it's saying Henry in it, and it's Arsenal player, and then
No, but
you can't really argue with Shearer. So obviously, I thought you would say what Nathan said.
There is so many players to choose from.
Doesn't take a genius.
Who would you have chosen?
I'm gonna get to me. We're talking about you now.
Go on.
Oh, no, you give us your reasons why. Don't copy what Nathan said.
It's obvious, isn't it?
Okay, what's your reasons, man?
Shearer, top league goal scorer in the Premiership.
That's what Nathan said.
What else I want to put him in for, though? Come on, man. Anyway, and Henry, it's Henry, innit? Like Nathan said, innit?
Like Nathan said, oh man, stroking the beard, people, for you lot that listening.
No. Henry, Arsenal record goal scorer, and what he's done for the game as well.
What did he do for the game?
What do you mean?
I'm asking you, innit? Because I'm asking you for your reasons why, and you just said what he done for the game. But what did he do for the game?
Henry up the levels, bruv.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
Did he up the levels?
No, I'm just asking you. You ain't so hostile today, man. Jesus. So initially, I can give my one now. Yeah. So initially, actually, I did think about it. Those were the 2 that come into my head straight away. Was your Henrys and Shearer. But I had a look at some stats and stuff, and you know what? I'll put Wayne Rooney in ahead of Henry. I put Wayne Rooney in ahead of Henry. Wayne Rooney, 208 goals, which is the 2nd highest in the Premier League. And that's what I didn't know, actually, was he's got 103 assists as well, which is the 3rd highest in the Premier League, behind It was Giggs who was number 1, and trying to remember who was second. Can't remember now. And I thought to myself, you know what? Those numbers are kind of crazy, you know, to be the second highest goal scorer in Premier League history, and then also on top of that be third highest in assists. For me, he has
I can only pick the players that I really like, and I for some reason I've always had this thing about Rooney that.
Of course, he's a United player.
No, it's not even that, because as I said, my dad supports United, so. Yeah. I'm not going to say it on... No, I'm not going to say it on but,
oh, yeah, he used to be a United fan when he was younger.
No, it was my second club. Because my dad tried to make me be a United fan.
You better mind, I don't...
I saw the ways.
I used to be a Liverpool fan for the same reason.
It happens. Your dad tries to push you to be something, but I'm a Spurs man. So that's what it is. But so I've got no thing about supporting Rooney. I've never really thought he was as good as everyone made out. Maybe it was the English media hyped him a bit too much, and I was thinking, well, he's good, but he's not as good as they're making out him to be. Now, statistically, at the end of his career, you look at it and think, wow, he was that good, but maybe because I just didn't appreciate.
I think it's even putting statistics to one side. Wayne Rooney was a brilliant player. I think, if anything, he didn't quite get to the level that I thought he would have, purely because of Fergie, if I'm honest with you. Because there was many games which people don't realise. When Ronaldo came through, Rooney was sacrificed. Mm-hmm. Rooney has spent a lot of his games right wing, tracking back, and all of that stuff. So I think technically Rooney was sick. Vision, awareness, passing, could drive, could dribble, tenacious, a winner. I think Rooney had it all, man.
But remember what the topic's about. You're putting him ahead of Henry.
Yeah. Because we're talking about Hall of Fame, isn't it? What is a Hall of Fame? Do you know what I'm saying? Or Hall of Fame generally would go down to statistics, because you're talking about what they did in the Premier League. We're talking about a guy who finished second top goal scorer. He's currently second top goal scorer.
That was more longevity, though. But if Henry had stayed in the league for the same time, he probably would have.
We can talk about probably, but.
Maybe we should goal to game maybe ratio. I don't know. I haven't done my research on Henry.
And 103 assists as well.
I'm pretty much guessing Henry's goal to game ratio would be
and 103 assists as well. So his contribution, this is what we're talking about, Hall of Fame. His contribution to Premier League football is undeniable.
True.
It's undeniable. But whether you like him or not, it's undeniable. Longevity or not.
You're not going to have a statue outside the ground like Henry deserved his statue outside the Emirates.
Because
maybe they ain't got as big.
This is the club of Manchester United. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. I think if Rooney played for Arsenal, he'll have a statue.
Why hasn't Rooney got a statue outside Man United? That's a good question.
No, but he may well still get a statue.
I doubt it.
He may well.
You're good with dates.
Not when it comes to your club.
Okay.
Only my club, bro.
Oh, is it?
So I'm asking you, when did he leave Man
United? I don't know, bro. I'm not good with dates. Oh. I'm not good with dates. It was like 3-4 years ago.
He may well get a statue, but
he may well get a statue.
I just think that when you're talking about Hall of Fame, then you got to look at, even when the best Premier League teams are discussed, Rooney don't really get mentioned in the strike force. So you can't put him in the Hall of Fame when he doesn't even get discussed in the Premier League best 11.
Well, I've put him in the Hall of Fame, so you let us know what would you do.
Who's your other one?
Shearer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shearer. Do you know what I mean?
Name Giggs.
Huh?
None of you got name Giggs.
Giggs is next. 632 appearances, which is second. 162. But then Nathan will say, "Oh, that's longevity. Like being present and playing a number of games in the Premier League is not an achievement in itself." That's what I'm saying. Like Rooney broke through at what age was he? 16, 17. And then he played at the highest level until and managed to. There's been loads of players that's through injury or whatever reason not being able to hack it at the top level and everything that can't get to that level. To knock a guy and say he can't make it when he's the second highest Premier League goal scorer, I just find mind-boggling. But anyway, let us know what you think, people. Am I crazy, or should Rooney really get a mention in this Hall of Fame stuff? And anyway, we're only talking about. They're the first two that I would put in. I'm not saying that Henry wouldn't get in there over a period of time, or Giggs or whatever. That's who I would start with if it was me. Moving on. I don't even know if it's even worth chatting about John Stones, really.
Nah, bro.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's even worth it, man. His career is just... just quickly, I'll just say, when he went to City, I was thinking, I think he's going to turn into a player,
Yeah,
I think under Pep, he will get him...
Playing out from the back and all of that.
And just be, because...
He's made for them, like...
Yeah, because technically I thought Stones was, you know what I mean? But he's just not the guy, man.
No,
I don't know where he goes from here.
Well, we were discussing in the group today, how much would he get sold for? I said 15 million, and I thought I was being like...
Over the top,
like exaggerating it. But then Carlos shut me down. I was like, no, he'll go for a lot more.
I think he'll go for a bit more.
I was thinking, what? Who's going to pay that for Stones? This man makes mistakes like Louise.
Yeah, he does.
And then I'm like...
Well, Arsenal may buy him.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't think we will.
No, but I've heard you lot linked to him, and I was thinking, can you imagine Stones and Louise at the back?
I don't think now.
God, man.
But Arteta's coached him and everything at City, so he may see something in training that he likes. Oh, please sign John Stones, boy.
Stones and Louise.
That would be an epic episode, you know.
Why don't you go sign him?
What do we need to sign him for, Jason? We've already established that we don't need it.
Dead, I don't know.
No. We're alright.
Harry Maguire's dead.
Yeah, Harry Maguire, but he's not going anywhere. We just paid £80 million for him. He ain't going anywhere. So it's just a player beside him. We've got Bay, we've got Lindelof. If anything, we're going to get a bigger player like Koulibaly or somebody. We're not in a David Luiz, You
can't sign people who make constant mistakes and then expect to make them better, man. I just don't understand that type of...
It don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. But we'll quickly touch on United anyway, because we've failed to close the gap on Chelsea again. It's really disappointing, man. I ain't gonna lie. First half, David De Gea gives them a goal.
Not rating him.
No, I still rate him, but he's not the keeper that he was before, man. A couple of years ago, he's not the same keeper. Still a good shot stopper. But as an all-round keeper now, I think I have to concede the fact that there's better keepers out there. I used to proper stand up for him and everything, but he's declined a lot, man. You can't keep making all of these mistakes, and I can't be hammering other keepers for making mistakes and then just turn a blind eye, like what some people do with their clubs, turn a blind eye to things. I can't do it. I think David De Gea, I think maybe his time should be up at United. What I don't get is that we've now made him he's like the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. Yeah, he's like second, third highest paid player in the Premier League. And they showed a stat today that he's joined with Pickford
the
most mistakes since last season. That's led to goals.
His contract.
And this is the same error that Arsenal made with Ozil when he wasn't doing anything and they gave him the big contract. Now all the other players at the club want to be on level playing field with his wages, but they're not going to pay that. They can't afford to pay everyone that type of a wage.
Yeah.
But now you've gone and given someone a big wage who's on the decline. So when I have to go back to Tottenham with Toby, I was like, we've just given him 200 grand a week to stay at the club and he's on decline. But then I saw we only gave him 80 and I was like, thank God for that.
You know what? That's shrewd business from Levy then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's good business. Like, we don't have that at our club at the moment in that sense. But
can you imagine now that he's on the decline and you've got that boy coming through that's on loan. Henderson, top keeper.
Yeah.
But you're paying him De Gea, I don't know how much it is, 300 grand a week. 350 a week. Who are you going to play?
Yeah, so this is the problem that we find ourselves in now as well, and it's like, who's also going to be paying De Gea 350 grand a week?
No one.
So for him to even leave, where's he going to go? So I don't know, but I might be going over the top anyway. I'm not saying he's not turned into like a rubbish keeper, but I'm just saying these errors now that he's just doing on a regular basis, it's not good. But then, you know what I mean, like on the flip side, it's a little bit with Pickford. Man kept us in the game with some good saves. So whilst we knock him on one hand because he error leading to a goal, man saved us on the other hand. Good save near the end. And even after he gave the goal away, Calvert-Lewin went through and he made a good save as well. But all in all, man, I think I'm starting to see some signs now, Jason. I'm starting to see some signs. when we played all of those big teams before, I always thought that we would lose. But now, I think I'm quietly confident in our ability to go to teams and win. Because since Bruno has come, now Nathan only sees the penalties because he's going to hate. Obviously, it's going to hurt him. It's going to burn him because Bruno was meant to go to Spurs. It's going to burn him. But this guy is levels, man. And he has come and he's upped everybody's levels at United. We're more dynamic. We're playing faster. We're playing forward more. The movement's better. The creativity's better. The first half today against Everton was as good as I've seen us in a game, like controlling, and the only thing that we didn't do was score goals. And then, but the second half, it was like a game of two halves, and that's why you're, jumping around talking about we were lucky. We weren't lucky. A draw was a fair result today, because we bossed it in the first half. They more or less bossed it in the second half.
It wasn't a fair result. I'm saying you're lucky you didn't lose. If it wasn't for VAR, you would have lost.
Well, if it weren't for their keeper, then they would have lost because he made saves as well. So there's no point saying if it wasn't for VAR.
No, but it's not about them making saves. The fact that the goal went in. The ball went in the back of the net.
Yeah, wrongly so. Do you think that should have been?
And if it wasn't for VAR,
what do you think, people? Do you think that goal should have stood? I think it was the correct decision. Nathan?
That first sighting, I thought it was definitely disallowed. I didn't even question it. When it was going to VAR, I said that is going to be ruled out straight away. But then the more I've watched it, he's taken the shot.
De Gea's gone one way.
He's gone that way already. He's already committed.
And then it's
deflected off his foot. He had no chance of getting it.
It would have went in.
And then all of a sudden it's gone past him, and then he's gone straight to the man that's on the ground. And I'm thinking.
So when the ball was I can't even put it on the screen. But I'm saying you're saying that when he shot, De Gea was already going the other way.
Because De Gea thought he was going to go into the other side of him, his right hand side. Yeah. So he was moving to his right, but it didn't deflect off Maguire back to De Gea's left.
Could De Gea see the ball?
Well, he saw the shot was going to that. The shot was going to that side though.
Could De Gea see the ball?
I think so.
He could see the ball because he saw the shot was going to his right.
So my man sitting on the floor plays no part in anything. Then that's not distracting him in any way. Is it distracting him in any way?
What I'm saying is when he took the shot, he was aiming for De Gea's right hand side. De Gea was moving to his right hand side, so De Gea could see where the shot was going.
Yeah.
The ball deflected off Maguire. Obviously, he's saying that Sigurdsson blocked his view, but I'm saying if he blocked his view, how did he know to move to his right hand side? Because that's where the ball was going in the first place.
Irrespective of whether he blocked his view or not, that's a distraction. The player being there. And he's interfering with play in that sense. If the player's a distraction, that means he's interfering with play. He's sitting right on the floor in front of him, in between. When you saw it on the replays, he's sitting in between.
I can see why
him and the player who's striking the ball. So he is interfering with play. He's interfering with play.
I can see why I was given, but I can see the other side to it as well. And looking at it again, I just feel that he had no chance of saving it anyway. And then it was almost like it's gone past him. Oh look, it's the guy
I totally agree that he weren't saving it. Yeah. I totally agree that he weren't saving it.
He's sitting right in front of him.
But he's sitting right in front of him. That he is still a distraction.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
because you can then argue as well. Oh no, he took a deflection. But yeah, I was gonna say that he could think that the ball he's gonna shoot that side because the player's there. That might be why he's even gone to the right. Because he's thinking, he's sitting there. He ain't gonna shoot near post. Do you know what I mean? That could have been a reason why he's going to the right.
I don't know. Who knows?
I think it probably the right decision was made in the end. Like the man sitting right in front of him. But I would be upset if I was an Everton fan. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I can see why it was given.
Let us know what you think, people, in the comments below. I think it was the right decision. But overall, man, I'm liking what I'm seeing, especially since Bruno's come in and how we've been playing after the winter break. I think in the second half, we definitely dropped our levels. Could have been down to a bit of tiredness. Maybe Ollie not adapting to Everton's change. But overall, we're looking decent, man. And that's why I can see positives with us. You can't see no positives with you lot, and the only positive Jason can see is the fact that he's got winnable games coming up, which in his mind that equals that they're gonna win those games.
No, I didn't say what I said. They are winnable. They are winning, but it doesn't mean I didn't say we're going to win them. Don't try and change my words, bro. You know exactly what I said. You know what I'm saying?
So now he's backtracking.
That's not
You're backtracking.
If I said they are winnable games, that's not me saying we're going to.
Because you was hyping like, perfect result for these man. Perfect result because they were. It's only good if you can then start winning your games.
And I said the ones that we got coming up, they are winnable.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. I didn't say
playing next.
West Ham.
West Ham. You can beat them.
I'm confident we'll beat West Ham.
Okay. Got him, boy. Yeah, man. Alright, come on, West Ham, please, boy. And this is getting wheel up. So anyway, let us know what you think, people, about Man United. And if you lot have been watching, what do you think of Bruno Fernandes? Because he's looking like the real deal, man. He's already scored.
Pickford mistake.
He's done a lot more than Lo Celso has done in a short time. You know, I don't know. I can't remember what Lo Celso's stats are. I don't think he scored in the Premier League. Bruno's come in and scored 3, and he's only played like 5 games. He's also got 2 assists. Bruno's looking good, man.
So what's going to happen when Pogba comes back?
So my it has to be a midfield 3 of Pogba, Bruno, and Fred. In my opinion, has to be.
Fred's just going to be DMing.
It has to. Fred has to play, man. But Matic played well today. Matic played well today.
You're not going to leave at Pogba, are you?
No. He probably he'll have to ease his way back in. But look. Talking about depth now, we've got Matic that's actually playing well. Scott McTominay's always, you can always get a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 with him in certain games. So now we're looking like we got a bit of depth. The only issue is up the top end of the field with Rashford out. Martial looked like he's still got a niggle because he then got taken off today and he looked like he was playing with a niggle. Daniel James ain't ready.
Still excuses for Martial, yeah.
Huh?
Still there was excuses.
Well, he did. You mean he's been on a hot streak recently, and you still want to keep knocking him? So we're not going to get into this now. you don't want to praise him when he does well, and then you want to knock him when he does bad. That don't make sense. That don't make no sense. You have to give, if you're going to hold everybody to the same standards, you have to give him credit when he does well. And until today, he's been playing well. And he's actually, everyone was surprised that he started today because he was injured. He weren't meant to play today. So, anyway, Nathan's a hater anyway, you lot can see. We'll move on, boy. Yeah, man, let's have a laugh at Liverpool's run coming to an end. Let's have a laugh.
Brilliant.
It was funny, man. You know what? I tell you what was funny about it is, and I have to ask, why are you Liverpool fans so rattled? I don't get it. The one loss.
They wanted that.
Rattled.
Man.
Rattled. I've got man on the IG post that all the IG post was doing is just reporting the score. I've got man's writing essays. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why are you writing an essay for, man? Rattled. I've got man's putting pictures up of the table on their IG. God. Rattled. I got man sending me long messages on my WhatsApp. Rattled. I'm like, why are you not so rattled?
Because they were making out like it weren't important. Like,
they wanted that, man. They wanted that record.
Come on, they were looking dominant, like.
But you know what? If we all deep it though, Nath and Jason, if we all deep it, this result has been coming. It's not like they've been blowing away all. Like, there's been a lot of games where they
scored at the last.
They should have lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who they losing to the other day and then they end up winning 3-2. West Ham. You know what I mean? It was coming, man.
I've said it all season. Like they had that aura about them that they were.
Yeah. You have said it.
They had won before they went on the football pitch. Teams was too scared of them.
Yeah.
I said Liverpool are not that good. They're a good team, but they're not as good as everyone's making out they are.
Yeah.
So now they've got that. They've had that defeat. They lost in the Champions League. They lost another game.
Yeah, they lost 2 in the
should have lost to West Ham. That's been three games in a row with them.
Yeah. They got Chelsea next in the FA Cup.
Exactly. Now we can start to see the wheels come off of Liverpool.
Yeah.
But they've got a big enough lead.
Yeah, they're gonna
win the league.
But this is why I'm like, why are you not so rattled for? You're gonna win the league. Do you know what I mean? So they must have really wanted that thing. But you know what it is now? I was saying to my cousin earlier, like a lot of Liverpool fans and other people trying to say that they're the best team the league has ever seen and everything. And like now, they're level on points on the most consecutive wins with City. They didn't pass them. They didn't manage to break Arsenal's record. Yep. And now they may get knocked out of the Champions League and knocked out the FA Cup, then they're just going to end up winning the league.
No, yeah. They're not the best team the league's ever seen, that's for sure. No way. No.
What do you think? Do you think Liverpool are the best team they've ever seen? Liverpool fans, just let me know, man. Why are you so rattled? You're going to win the league anyway. You're 22 points clear, you know. But I looked someone today. City won the league with 19 points. So, boy, they may not even end up winning it with the biggest gap either. So
Liverpool blows the league, you mean?
No, they're gonna win. They're gonna win the league, but I'm saying they're 22 points clear at the moment. City won it in 17-18, I think it was, with 19-point gap. I think that was when we finished second. So yeah, I'm saying Liverpool may not even end up winning the league with the biggest gap in the end. So yeah, man. For me, I find it funny. You lot know I don't like Liverpool. I'm a United fan. They're gonna win the league, but it was just hilarious to see, and they got battered as well.
Yeah, I know.
They got battered.
Yeah,
3-0. You know, Watford did the thing,
could
boy.
have been 4 if he took his shot.
Saar should have scored, should have been 4.
His hat-trick.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like they just got beat.
No,
they got a beating.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. All right, so let's try and get into question time. We're running out of time, so we'll try and throw in a couple of questions and then we'll wrap up for today. Yeah, so question time. We've been given some questions by our followers on Instagram. So as I said, we're running out of time, so I can't answer all of them, people. But one of the questions that I've picked out is from Blassie80. He asks, and I think it's probably right that Nathan answers this question. He says, is Lloris's time up at Spurs as number 1 and club captain? And should Kane be looking a move away in the summer to fulfill his potential? What do you reckon, Nathan?
No, Lloris's time's not done. I think Lloris's biggest problem was his kicking. Pochettino used to make him play out from the back. If you've got a keeper who can't kick, that's the last thing they need to be doing. Now Mourinho's got him concentrating on just getting it out there. We don't build from the back anymore.
Yeah, of course, long ball business, isn't it?
Well, call it what you want. Lloris ain't asked to patter about the back. So Lloris is a world-class shot stopper. Like, he's rash at times, like De Gea now, but them two used to be the biggest keepers in the league with Ederson and thinking.
Yeah.
It's going to take someone special to be better than Lloris. Like, Gazaniga's come in, but the way I always judge a keeper is how often do they get beaten from distance? Lloris don't get beaten from distance. All like Pickford again today, distance gets beaten. Like. Yeah. It's like, it's their positioning. Gazaniga, when he came in, he was doing a solid job for us, but the amount of goals he was conceding from just outside the box, you got to question his speed of getting down, his agility. These are key things, and Lloris still is good at what he does.
Okay.
So for us to, unless we're going to go and sign that Milan youngster, Dumoulin, whatever his name is, the youngster, then I don't see many keepers in the world that are better than Lloris.
Okay, so you'll keep him. What about Kane? Do you think Kane should move to fulfill his potential?
Kane's been injured for the last 2 years. Like, we don't know how good he would be at Tottenham if he could have taken us 2 titles and Champions Leagues if he didn't get injured. Like, if Kane was fit last season for the Champions League final, properly fit.
Yeah, didn't get injured before.
You know, would he have fulfilled his potential already?
Yeah.
But injuries are killing him at the moment. So I don't think he has to move on. I think he's that type of guy who he wants to be the man at Tottenham.
Yeah.
If he goes to somewhere else and he has to fight for his place, will he be that guy? I don't know. Like, that's the problem at Tottenham. We rely on him, but he's got no competition.
Yeah.
I hope this summer that we go and bring in a recognised striker to fight for his spot.
Can you see that? Can you see that happen?
I hope so. I think Mourinho's not going to go into the season with this same issue again.
Okay, that kind of leads me then on to my second question, and this is by, well, not mine, this is by TAS29. He then says, or he asks, do you think we will see a return to most teams playing with 2 strikers? So what do you think, Jason? Because just like what we're just discussing here, it's very much a 1 striker system at a lot of clubs now, and that's why it's who do you bring in, you know, rotation and everything. Do you think that we could see a return to 2 strikers?
The way football is and the way teams set up, I don't think so, no. A lot of teams, the way they play now, to play with 2 strikers, your midfield is going to probably suffer a little bit. And, you know, if you want to pack up the midfield against certain teams, you can't play with 2 strikers. You know, can you see a team game with 2 strikers against a team like Liverpool? No. Or any other top side? No, you can't really see that. So I'm not saying like during the game they might not switch it, depending on how the game is going. But to start off with 2 strikers, I doubt it very much. I think that's like the 4-4-2, like quite an old system, innit?
Yeah.
Managers ain't really looking to go back to. That's my opinion anyway. But
I agree. I think the only way you get that is in a 3-5-2 system. Where you can get the 2 strikers in there, but for me, I don't think that 3-5-2 works that well. It can work on the odd game here or there when you switch it up and it's a little bit different. But to play 3-5-2 all season, I know Chelsea did it. Was his name Conte? Yeah, I know he did it and won the league that way. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that. When we play, I'm not a fan. It's all right to do it in the odd game or here or there. But what do you think, Nathan?
Well, I was interested to see the game today. Everton set up in a 4-4-2. Very rare to see it. You normally see, what's that team? Burnley set up in that. That's the only team in the league that I think ever set up like that. But Everton, a decent team, set up like that. And he said, Ancelotti, they asked him, and it's like, yeah, I've got 2 strikers who have to play 4-4-2. Like, because they're willing runners. They're in behind. They're, you know, and they link up together, and it was good to see. Like I was trying to watch both games today, but I saw Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, who I thought's dead, but in the 2 he was all right. He looked a decent player. Like he looked a problem, and it caused United. It was a constant threat. So I would love to think that they would go back to the 4-4-2, because then you'll see the better mid. Like we talk about the great midfielders of the past, and they always used to play in the 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And now I think it's too much of let's pack out the midfield, and then we're saying, oh, this midfielder is so great. Yeah, but you're either a goal scoring midfielder or you're a defensive midfielder. Back in the day, you was a complete midfielder.
Yeah. I agree.
We've gone away from that now. It's not. You don't see those midfielders anymore. That's why we're judging like Lo Celso, and he ain't got no goals, no assists. I'm like, yeah, he's a typical modern day midfielder now. They're just pretty on the ball. But what are they actually like? Bruno Fernandes has come in. He's more of an attacking one. Like he's got a shot on him. Like so,
he's more than a shot. He's vision awareness.
Yeah, but
it's more than that. You haven't been watching him.
Play defensive mid though.
Oh no. He played DM in the first game that we played.
You're not going to trust him in a 4-4-2.
Well, you can. It depends on who he's playing with, though, isn't it?
Would you trust him in a 4-4-2?
Yeah.
I don't think that.
Bruno, especially with Bruno, he's tracking back. He's tenacious. He's quick. He puts a challenge in. So he's not just that pretty. Actually, he actually gets stuck in. He's rough and ready.
I'll be honest.
I know you haven't, because you wouldn't question him if you had been watching.
You haven't watched Lo Celso. You wouldn't question him.
I have. And the thing is, I like Lo Celso, but I'm just saying you can't then knock Bruno Fernandes for scoring penalties when.
No, I wasn't knocking. I'm just saying you can't sugarcoat his stats, bro. You can't make it out like, oh yeah.
But our penalties,
3 goals.
Our penalties not there to be scored. Did Aguero not miss penalties the other day?
I get that, like, but
you can't. And it's more than just that, though, Nathan. It's more than that.
No. Anyway, you watch the games.
We're digressing anyway. What I think, I agree with what you're saying, and I agree with Jason, because I think in the first half, that's exactly what we did to Everton. We controlled the game through midfield. We controlled it all, because they lost their way in midfield a bit. I'm not actually sure how they changed it in the second half to why they didn't gain control.
Would you say you controlled it? Because another interesting point, I think it was Souness or Keane, I can't remember which one of them said it. They said possession for the sake of possession is not what I don't care about that passing sideways. When the midfielder gets it, that ball, early ball forward. Like, so possession doesn't mean you're controlling the game.
Oh yeah.
Were they getting in behind you? Like, I don't know.
No. I've talked about that many times, and that's one of my problems. Even this season, against the lower teams, when they play the low block, we've got the ball all the time, but we can't break them down. So trust me, I'm not about that. But today there was a difference. We were breaking the lines. We were passing forward, and we've been doing that since Bruno has come in. He just seems that he's up to everybody's levels. We're changing the way we play. As I said, we're more dynamic. And in the first half, man, I'm not even hyping. It was very good to watch. It was very good. And even Souness was like, in the first half, like, United looked like a very good team. And I just don't know what happened in the second half. I may have to watch the game again to see what Everton did to really gain control of it. They came out more, but it's an interesting question, Tass, man. Thank you very much for that. The next one, very quickly, this is by CD4WG8. What a name, by the way. But he's asked who's going to get relegated and who's going to get promoted. Now, me personally, I don't watch Championship football. If I'm honest, I'll be totally real. So I'm going to leave out that second part. You don't watch it?
Not really. I only watched Leeds when they played Arsenal, I think.
West Brom are top.
Yeah.
Brom might get back up.
Yeah, I don't watch it. If we was to look at who's going to get relegated, just looking at I truly believe that West Ham before we're going to get relegated, and I'm going to stick by that. So I'm going to say Norwich are down, West Ham will go down, and I think Bournemouth will go down. That's my three. West Ham, Bournemouth and Norwich, that's who I think is going to get relegated. And I think that because Bournemouth haven't really got goals in them.
No.
Norwich are already down. And something just about West Ham, I just think, and again with them, they haven't really got a goal threat. And there's just something, I think it's just going to be their year, man. With everything, with the stadium, everything. We've seen Newcastle, big teams can go down. I think West Ham are going down, personally. But
I don't know. I think West Ham, they got some quality players, and I don't think they'll go down anymore.
So who do you reckon is going to go down?
Norwich for sure.
Yeah, Norwich are down.
Bournemouth, I think, might come out of it as well. I think Villa are going to go down.
Villa,
well.
you think Villa are down? You see it there.
And maybe Brighton.
Brighton, you think Brighton can get sucked in? Yeah, they're not.
And when I look at their team, when you look at Match of the Day and the team comes up on the screen and it's like, who the hell are these players?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know none of these Brighton players. It's one of the days that they had knockout and then at least I knew someone.
You know what?
Know these Brighton
I think it is I think Brighton's early form is maybe blinding me, because you're right, man. And their last 5 games, loss, draw, loss. That's their last 5 games. That's actually relegation form right there. You know what I mean? They've got no wins in the last 5. Newcastle also no wins in the last 5. Ooh.
They haven't scored in how many was that? Was it 6 hours worth?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But do you see how they set up, man? When they played against Arsenal, that was embarrassing. Like,
Your Newcastle.
yeah, oh my God, man! Like 5-4-1, park the bus, like hope for that quick die to run around.
Maximilian.
Ah, come on, man.
Who do you reckon is going to get relegated, Jay?
I reckon Norwich and Villa. I think Bournemouth might go down as well. I think West Ham and Watford might just survive.
Yeah, I hear why you lot are not including West Ham. For me, I just think there's just something about them this year that it's going to be their year to go down.
I'm not sure which one out of the last 5, but one of them's got like a torrid fixture list coming up. I can't remember who it is.
West Ham, if I remember correctly, when I looked before, their fixture list was quite tough, man.
Is it?
Yeah, their fixture list was quite tough.
They've got a lot of the top teams.
I haven't checked the rest. I might do that actually. Might put that up on the IG what all of their run-ins is, and then we can have a look, because it's going to be interesting. I don't think Watford will go down, because they've got some players. Although Delafeu's injured now,
yeah.
He'll be out for the rest of the season. So that will be a bit of a big blow. But they got that Perez though still that came on for him, and he's tied tidy. Sarr's a tidy player. Doucouré's tidy. Troy Deeney will always cause problems. So for me, they've got it there, innit? They've got a problem. And Villa, the reason why I'm not including Villa, man, they got Grealish, man. I'm really rating that. I'm really rating that guy, man. So I think, and they can take comfort from there, and a lot of positives from their performance against City today. Yeah. In the Carabao Cup final.
They get battered, to be honest.
Yeah, man.
When it went 2-0, we thought it's going to be like a 6-0 or something.
Should have been all, but yeah, they fought their way back in, man. So that's who we think are going to get relegated, people. Let us know what your thoughts are. The relegation battle is going to be a lot more interesting than what it's going to be at the top. But top 4 is going to be interesting as well, to be fair. Top 4, top 5. So, yeah, man, we've got a few more interesting weeks left. And that's it. That's the end of episode 30. Can't believe I've got up to 30, man. We got up to 30 episodes. I'd like to thank you, Nathan, for coming through again. No problem. Jason, as always, we are the pundits on Everyone's a Pundit. Have a good day, people. Bless.
Peace out.
Safe.